hey, let's make a quick, easy crochet project. Okay, so no judgment. I was shopping on Amazon and I came across these really cute wristlet keychains, and I was like, let's make those, right? So the way I made these was I just used some chunky yarn. This is the Softy Bernat chunky yarn, but any bulk of 6 yarn would work. Some pliers, some floor wire that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, as well as if you have some jump rings. Now you can get these on Amazon, but I just picked one up off the old, like an old key ring. And then of course, you know guys, I used my Lucet Fork. Now you don't have to have a Lucet Fork. I will show you some options on how to create this. Well, an option to create it without a Lucet Fork. So let's go ahead and start by making ourselves a nice little cord. Now, like I said before, I do have a couple of options in this video, so stay tuned so I can give you those options. They're like one's like kind of in the middle, and there's another one towards the end on how to make this wristlet a little bit differently each time. But you want to just start by making yourself a figure 8 and getting everything set up in order for us to create the actual cord. Now I do have an actual video that goes slower on how to create the cord if you can't catch on here, but literally we are just making a rope that's going to be about 12 to 13 inches long. Okay, so just go ahead and complete your rope following along here on the screen, and then we will move on to actually making the wristlet, which is not hard, guys. Now guys, mine came with that little wooden pick there, but if you do not have a wooden pick and it didn't come with yours, you can always use a yarn needle. Matter of fact, with this bulky yarn, the yarn needle actually worked a lot better than the actual wooden pick that came along with it. So if you have a yarn needle, because of this bulky yarn, I think it just worked a lot easier. Pick up your yarn needle and then just get to working. It really works up quickly. I'm telling you, this is like the perfect gift that you can give someone, like just quickly, you know what I mean? Okay, once you have the cord created to the length that you need, I've already pre-cut my floor wire just using my pliers that I showed you earlier. You're going to go ahead and finish off your cord, just pushing the tail in 2 loops and pulling. You are going to lose a couple of stitches, but not very many, and that creates your nice little rope. Okay, now using your pre-cut floor wire, it's about 12 inches, the same size as your rope. You are now going to feed that floor wire through the center portion of the rope. Now this is the trickiest part of this project, and I do have another option, but if you want to do it this way, this is an option. Just take your time and feed it through. The main thing is you want to make sure that you get it to the other end, so that way you have a nice bendable wristlet area that can be formed into a circle. So with patience, you can get it through or you can just keep watching the video, and I do give you a separate option. Okay, so once you have the wire all the way through, you are now going to attach the wires together, and I did it by just kind of clamping it together. I will show you a little bit closer how I got that completed, but you can do anything you want to get the wires. But what I did was I just took my pliers and I kind of made a U or a circle with one end, and then I fed the other end of the floor wire through that loop that I created, and then just did the same type of loop on the other side, and that created kind of like a clasp, and it made it just stay nice and secure in a neat way. Okay, all right, so once you have your wire completely clamped off and pulled together, I just tied my 2 free ends together, the 2 pieces of yarn together, and then I will wrap those ends around the wire so that it stays nice and secure and hidden away, so it looks really nice and clean. And because we're using such a bulky yarn, the wire hides really nicely. So you want to shape it into a nice little circle, and that is that. Now, option 2, with your Lucet Fork, you want to take a piece of tape and the wire that you already pre-cut to about 12 inches. And you want to just tape it towards the bottom. Now you don't have to tape it. It just makes it easier when we're working around it so that it stays in place. Go ahead and string the yarn through the center circle like I'm showing you here. And go ahead and make sure that that wire is pushed evenly with the top part of the fork. I didn't do that initially, but you need it to be kind of flush, okay? Once you have the wire in the center, just like I'm showing you here on the screen, continue to work your cord like we did previously, ignoring that wire. The main thing with the wire is you want it to work into the center, and this was super easy compared to trying to push wire through the creative cord. Now you can do it the other way, the first way I showed you, but honestly, once you get the wire to kind of sit still in the center, it works so much more easier, guys. Okay, and just continue to work your project the same way you did earlier, or the same way I showed you earlier, creating an I-cord or a cord with the Lucet Fork and the wire being in the center. Once you get all the way down and the cord starts to reach to where the tape is, just take the tape off. At that point, the wire should kind of be nice and secure, but you still want to make sure that it doesn't come out, okay? So just remember to hold it in place as you're working down your project. Okay, that's that. Much easier. I'm definitely going to tell you I'm a fan of option 2, especially if you're going to make a couple of these. Okay, same thing as we did before. We're just going to pull the cord off of the Lucet Fork, and we're just going to use the tail end, feeding them through both of the loops. So one side and then also the other side, and then giving it a little tug. And if you want to tie another knot, that's fine. I didn't feel it necessary, but if you need to, or you want to feel more secure, tie you another knot to make sure that it all stays together. Okay, and just like before, we're going to use our pliers, making a nice little loop on both sides. So making one loop, pushing the wire through that loop, and then making another loop. That's how I secured mine. Okay, I just clamped it down, made it nice and tight. And you can really do this probably with your hands. It was 4 wires, so it was really easy to work with. And then you just want to work your cord around your wire, making sure that you shape it into a nice little circle. See how cool that is? And then once you do that, just go ahead and tie your ends together like we did before, and then wrap any of the yarn around. So you have some options here. You can use a tassel to kind of add the little flair to it. I found these really cool little crochet hooks. It came with some other things that I purchased, but that's on Amazon. I'll link it below if you want to use something like that to give it to, like, if you have a crocheter friend or whatever. But the little crochet hooks are perfect too. They act like tassels, and I thought they were perfect for this project. So if I have a tutorial on my channel on how to make tassels, if you don't know how to do a tassel, but you can absolutely do a tassel. You can do pom-poms if you have a pom-pom maker, you know how to make pom-poms. You know, whatever you feel. All right, and once you have it nice and secure, you can weave those tails in. I just took my yarn needle and just kind of weave the tails back up through the project. And then again, like I said, I just added these little crochet hooks as my tassel, and I added an extra tassel so it looked really cool and neat. And it just fits on your wrist just like that. Perfect. This is a fun project, but guys, don't fret. If you do not have a Lucet fork, here is the third option. You can get yourself a nice little plastic fork, just like I have here. Take out the 2 center prongs of the fork. I went ahead and filed down the tip of the fork, just kind of cut it off with some scissors and filed it a little bit so it was a little bit smoother. And then there you have it. You have yourself a nice little handmade or DIY Lucet fork. Now, in full disclosure, the fork that I used here, in efforts to look cute and pretty, it was really slippery. Get yourself like a cheaper fork, and that way the yarn doesn't slip off so easily, but this does work, okay? You just have to use a little bit more effort in making sure that the yarn doesn't slide off the prongs of the fork. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. There's 3 options to making this really cool wristlet. If you have any questions about it, please leave it down in the comment section below. The main thing is you want to make sure that you get that 4 wire all the way through so that it makes a nice bendable wristlet, kind of mimicking what I showed you in the very beginning, the product that I saw off of Amazon. Anyway guys, so that's it. If you make this, let me know over on Instagram. I like to see what you guys create. If not, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful holiday season. Thanks for watching. Bye.